Welcome to the Old Lumens channel again. I got a light from Deal Extreme for review, and it's something I've never played around with. It's a dive light. It's a Trustfire TR-DF006 diving flashlight. It came in a real nice case. This it had the padding and everything in it, but it comes with a light, and it came with a charger, and it came with a battery. And the battery, I've already put the battery inside. It's a Trustfire 2600 mAh 18650 battery. But like I say, I've never done a dive light before. I'm just going to look at it from my standpoint, and we'll try to go from there. The light is totally smooth. I mean, there's there's cutouts here and there, design cut in it and all that kind of thing for maybe holding it. But there is no knurling at all anywhere on that light. In the head, there's a real thick, probably 10 millimeter or thicker plastic face. There's an O-ring seal, and it looks like it's crushed pretty flat right there where the plastic face sits on. There's 4 screws. They're probably, I would think they're stainless. I would hope they're stainless. There's 4 screws in there, and supposedly that seals the front. Okay. This thing has an XML2 in it. I was surprised to see it has an XML2. It has a smooth reflector. It has a slider switch, and I've never seen a slider switch in a light. Okay. There's no tail cap switch. In fact, there's nothing there in the tail cap. There's just a hole, and it's just solid metal. The tail cap does not appear to come apart. I can't get it apart. It's probably glued together. And you can hear this squeals and squeaks, and I love that. I wish they would grease all these lights. Here's the 18650 that came. It's a Trustfire 2600 mAh, and it came about 3.69 volts. Okay, so it must have been fully charged when it left. There's the threads, even though they're squeaky, they appear to be a square thread to me. I mean, they look like they're a square thread. Very clean, no residue or anything like that. Double O-ring on the body, and then there's another O-ring inset right here. Okay, so this one is a compression O-ring, as the two pieces go together. At least that's what it's supposed to be. The driver is set down in. I can't tell you anything about the driver. It looks like there's a plastic seal down in there. Okay. It looks like 3 copper pins hold an outer ring that touches this, okay, to make contact, and then your spring in the center, okay. I'm sure it's probably supposedly more waterproof that way, but like I said, it looks like 3 copper pins have been compressed in there into a plastic, some kind of plastic seal underneath, and then the metal plates and the center spring. Again, the threads look really good on it. They do look like square threads. They're just totally dry. They need to be lubed. The switch, you can see the end of the switch right here, or the switch housing right here. It's going to be very interesting to me is how that switch is going to work and seal, without leaking water. But we'll find out here in a little bit. I'm wondering if it's not magnetic. Anyways, okay, so I'll throw the battery in here, and even though I haven't lubed this thing up, I'll go ahead and turn this together again, and we'll turn it on and see what it's like. There is a lanyard that's on there. It's a fairly decent lanyard. It's heavier than the normal real thin string. It's it's an actual heavier cord in there for the lanyard. Okay. As I say, this is an XML2, and there's our, you can see it just, as you press on the slider, it gets brighter and brighter. Now this looks real blue here, but of course that's the camera. It is a cool white, definitely a cool white, probably in the 7000K range, 6500 to 7000K, XML2, fairly bright. I'll do some readings off it. But anyways, seeing as how it's a dive light, we have a pool at our little retirement center. I can't call it that, but it's not a retirement community, but it's the last step before the home. Anyways, we have one, we have a pool, and they changed it to a saltwater pool, okay? So what better idea than to throw it in the pool? So that's what I'm going to do for water testing, is I'm going to go walk out to the saltwater pool and maybe hook my fishing line to it and toss it out there into the 6-foot depths and leave it sit there for a little while. But I'm going to take the battery out because I'm not that daring, okay? So I will take the battery out, put it back together, and we'll see what we get. But just from initial appearances, nice light, well-made light. I'm really surprised, pleasantly surprised. I would think that you know, there's a protective coating on top of this lens, and I'll take that out. I mean, I'm going to tear it all apart. You know that. I'm going to tear the whole thing down completely. But I want to do the water testing on it first, so I'll let you know when I get that done. Thanks for watching. Okay, so the first part of the video, I ran out of film, digital film, before I finished talking. But anyways, my thought was to put it in the pool, so before I went to work I threw it over in the pool for a couple hours, and then I had to go to work, so I went ahead and took it out of the pool and just threw it in this this container of water while I was at work. So it's been in water for probably 9 or 10 hours now. We'll take a look here in a minute and see what it looks like and see if there's any water showing inside. Okay, so it's all dried out. On the outside anyways. I see no water inside the reflector or around the LED. Now I see water in between the plastic and the metal before you get to where the O-ring seal is. So that the outer edge here, in between the plastic and the metal, did take some water in, which would eventually result in some corrosion. Probably a second O-ring along the edge might be nice too, but anyways, it didn't let anything inside. I'm going to take the rest of it apart and see if any water got inside where the battery goes, or up in the driver's section. Okay, I see right there just moisture on the end. You notice there's moisture on the outside right here, but I don't see any moisture on the inside. Okay, so I see no moisture at all at the back end of the pill where the driver and all that is. Nothing in the threads. I see moisture on the outside here, but not inside past the O-ring. So the O-ring seals did their jobs the way they should. There's no water, no moisture at all inside the body. Just as dry as can be. No leakage anywhere here either, which I still say that's two pieces that are glued together, but anyways. So at least it holds water. It doesn't take in any water, and I can't do anything about depths because the deepest that I had it was 6 feet. I'm going to throw the battery in too real quick, and then we'll find out if it turns on and works the way it should. Got to lube that one of these days. There's the light on, okay, and the slider's still working like it should. Okay, I see some moisture in here where this slider is, so I'm really curious as to if there's anything trapped in between. That entails taking it apart, tearing it down, and so that's what I'll be doing next, is I'll be doing a tear down on that head. Alright. Okay, so I've taken the lens off and the reflector off, and I see moisture down inside right around the LED. So water leaks somewheres. I'm betting 10 to 1 that it leaked in the switch, and I'm betting that down inside the pill there's water. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take that pill out. Okay, before I go any farther, I want to correct that statement. That was not water. That's very interesting. It's oil. It's some type of very light oil that was at the bottom of the reflector, on the bottom lip of the reflector, and down inside on the retainer ring, or the centering ring, locating ring on the pill. So it is not water. So now I'll go ahead and tear the rest of it apart here. Okay, well I took the retaining ring out from in front of the or around the LED. There's a brass pill in there. Okay, it looks to be a brass pill. There is a shelf that the LED sits on, and the pill fits down inside the light. And right here, it looks like that's part of, I don't know if you can see that, that's part of the switch assembly, which is a sensor. So basically it must be a magnetic switch of some type, alright? And the closer the switch gets to it, the more power turns on. So it's, I believe that might be a magnetic sensor. It looks like it anyways. Then the inside of the you know, down in there I can see the not the driver, but the contact plate. I'm not going to tear it apart any farther than that. This light is going to be a giveaway light for somebody, and I'm not going to do all kinds of crazy things to it. I can tell that from what I see, there was no water leakage, and that's about as far as I'm going to go with it. It works as advertised. Now I don't know if it's going to, you know, work at 50-foot depth or not, but I know that at least at 6-foot depth it doesn't leak, and over a long period of time, 8 to 10 hours, just in a container of water, it doesn't leak. So anyways, it does as advertised. All right, that's about all I'm gonna do with this light as far as reviewing it. It has a nice aluminum reflector, deep aluminum reflector, and I'm gonna go ahead and put everything back together. Thanks for watching.